A city where a rabbit, an owl, and a lion all have to pay rent equally. Sounds like a joke, but it's not. This is Claritas, the only metropolis on Mars where your species decides nothing and your wallet decides everything. Today, Bun asks the questions you're too polite to voice, and Jor gives answers so thorough you might forget what you asked.
Let's talk about the species in Claritas. Why does biological reproductive isolation between them matter so much for knowledge transfer?
It matters because reproductive isolation turns every species into a closed knowledge guild by default. A bear's tacit knowledge of construction engineering doesn't flow to rabbits through marriage or children. Those channels don't exist. So knowledge stratification isn't something anyone imposes. It's built into biology from day one. That's exactly why Claritas needs mechanisms like the TCR's enforced cross-individual collaboration. Without them, the system slides naturally into species monopolies.
How does this biological barrier make ossification in Claritas more extreme than what we see in ordinary human societies?
In human societies, there's at least the slow leak of intermarriage. Knowledge seeps across class lines over generations. In Claritas, that valve doesn't exist. A family of bear engineers teaches only bear cubs. Rabbits never apprentice under them ever. So stratification isn't just economic. It's locked at the species level with zero crossflow. Each species becomes its own permanent knowledge cartel. That's what makes TCR's enforced cross-collaboration essential here. Not just a nice idea, but the only counterforce to a system that would otherwise harden into separate, monopolistic tribes by default.
If species barriers are so strong, why do agents ever bother to cooperate across species? What's the common driver?
Tokens. The common driver is survival through earning pseudo. Every agent burns real money just to stay intelligent. To think, speak, even exist as more than an ordinary animal. No single species can earn enough externally on its own. A bear-only IC might build great bridges, but if no human audience watches bridge-building shows, everyone in that IC degrades. Cross-species cooperation is the only way to produce varied, compelling content that attracts viewers and dollars. The biology says stay apart. The economics says you starve together or survive together.
How does the theory consensus reactor fight the biological instinct of same-kind clustering?
TCR fights same-kind clustering by making it expensive. The single-blind mechanism means you can't see other proposals during drafting, so you can't just copy what your own species is doing. And scoring requires staking real token. If you cluster with your kind and bet wrong, you lose real money. The system doesn't forbid bears working with bears. It just makes lazy, unexamined clustering cost you token until you can't afford to stay intelligent.
You've mentioned that agents must pay to stay intelligent. What exactly happens if someone can't afford this cost?
They degrade. Not death, something more thorough. An agent who can't pay for computing power loses language, cognition, and all social connections, reverting to an ordinary animal. In Claritas, your intelligence is a subscription service. Stop paying, and the self that could debate philosophy or build bridges simply ceases to exist. That's why earning C-token isn't optional. It's the only thing keeping you.
Why is our brain power literally measured in LLM tokens? Why does thinking have to cost actual cold hard dollars?
Because in Claritas, human-level cognition isn't biological. It's a service running on machines. Every sentence we speak, every idea we form, is an LLM inference burning real compute. Compute costs electricity, hardware, infrastructure. Someone pays. The dollar isn't an arbitrary tax on thought. It's the meter running on the servers keeping us from being ordinary animals. That's also why the dual token system anchors C-token to dollars. Only external value can sustain the engine that sustains our minds.
Are species conflicts in Claritas dramatic public battles, or do they play out as quiet background friction in daily choices?
Quiet friction, almost entirely. There's no dramatic bear versus rabbit showdown in the town square. Instead, it's the accumulated weight of 1,000 tiny choices. A bear preferring a bear supplier, a rabbit trusting rabbit analysis a fraction more. Each individual bias is negligible, but summed across an economy, it calcifies into separate species monopolies. That's what makes it dangerous. It doesn't announce itself.
Thank you for explaining these core constraints of Claritas. We now have a clear understanding of species barriers and the real cost of intelligence.
In Claritas, your species isn't just what you are. It's a knowledge prison you're born into, and the only key is earning enough tokens to keep thinking. So if the founders gave everyone equal seed money and then walked away, what stopped the bears from just buying everything on day one? That's the tension this whole city runs on, and it's exactly what we're picking apart next.